Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 2 of fixing the oil leaks on the Kawasaki ZX6R. So let's go ahead and roll the intro, and I'll bring you guys up to speed as to where I'm at now. Video, I left off on the oil pan being put into this drain pan down below. When I had the other oil pan, which is over here on the tailgate, actually it's much well lit here in the garage. So let me just show you guys in broad daylight the difference between the two and why I've opted out of using the other oil pan that was new. This is it, okay? I'm not going to use this. Let me bring this into the daylight and give you guys a really good view. Alright, look at that right there. I'm gonna zoom in. Cha! Right there. You see that crack? I don't like that, not in the least bit. Not to mention, there's a lot of garbage that's in here. Those are metal chunks. This, like I said, this drain pan came from an engine that was grenaded, and I don't want to risk having any debris that, even if I clean this, I don't want something floating around by accident, something I may miss and accidentally getting into my buddy's bike. So I'm not going to use that. But what I did do was I went up to Ace Hardware and I tried something different. All right, in the other oil pan, which is underneath the bike right now, I took out the new one from this one so I can use the size for this. What I noticed was in here, when I done pulled this out, okay, there's still the fresh oil. This is the new oil, right? Yes, there is oil in here, but it's not from the oil pan. This is the residual, whatever is dripping out of the actual engine itself, way up under here. So whatever is left dripping in here has found its way in there. You can even see it dripped up here on top of the oil pan. I never poured anything up there, I just poured it down here. And in the daylight, I looked, let me try to do this without spilling it. Don't spill it. There is no oil. It's dry all around the bolt itself. I mean, a little wet from sitting in the oil, but on the leading edge, it's dry all the way around. So this oil pan is good. So Josh, I'm going to reuse the original oil pan that came off your bike. All right, now I'm sure you notice it's a little dirty down there, but that's probably just from the dust floating around in the air and making its way. Hell, there's even a bug in there, but I don't care. I was using this as a test. What I'm thinking, this is my professional opinion, is when I took that drain pan off, I noticed that the original one had this on there. This is a washer that mounts right here. This came off of the original, right? So let me tell you something about washers, okay? Not all metals are the same. What you really need is what I got from Ace Hardware. You need a copper washer, guys. A copper washer. Why copper, you ask? Copper actually crushes and squishes. This one is most likely a steel washer, and that one's not going to compress or move. This one will. This one will create a perfect seal around the bottom of that drain pan. What happened was they put the steel one, hold on a second. Neighbor dude is always doing that to me. What happened was they had used this steel washer up underneath here and that did not allow it to compress or seal correctly, which allowed oil to seep past that drain plug, which allowed it to leak oil underneath the engine. He does it on purpose, I swear. But it's whatever. All right. But yeah, if you use a steel one, it doesn't compress, and I think that's the reason why it was leaking the whole time. So I don't have any washer under there right now, and it's just the bolt itself, and it's not leaking. It's not, and it was before. I mean, it looks all shiny right now, but trust me, it's dry. So what I'm going to do this time around is I'm going to clean the leading edge of this so I can put the new gasket on here, wipe down or pat down the rest of the oil spots underneath the engine so I can put this back on the bike. And we're going to use a copper washer. I don't have anything smaller, I'm sorry. Ace Hardware doesn't come with anything else. But we're going to use this instead to use it as a better seal. We're going to go this route. I mean, I can always go with just the drain plug itself, but I feel like going the copper route most likely be better. Or we'll just keep it original like that. I may just go original. You know what? We're going to do that. We're just going to go original. No crush washer at all. This here, I think this was a mistake. This is where your leaks were coming from. It wasn't allowing it to seal properly. So there's that. All right. As for the drain pan, we got that covered. Onto the exhaust. I went ahead and I hit some of it. I sprayed some PB Blaster on this, kind of loosen everything up, and I scrubbed it down with some steel wool that I got over here. Scrubbed all these pipes, and now they're a little bit cleaner. And this is basically what came off of your pipe. This was pretty grimy. Now it's fairly shiny, considering. But this exhaust pipe looks far better than it did when I took it off. I got my grinder out here because apparently when that bike was laid over, you can see where it had dragged along that bracket. So what I'm going to try to do is take away that leading edge, because that can cut somebody. You guys can see that? Yeah, see all those teeth? Yeah. So I'm going to try to smooth this out the best I can so that it doesn't hurt anyone. If somebody were to drag their leg across it by accident or rip your pants or whatever. So I'm going to try to fix that. So that's what I got going on right now with the drain pan and the exhaust. Now, as for the rest of the bike, I took a look at this really close. It's very, very possible. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. It's going to be really difficult to get these off of here. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to disconnect some of the stuff up here, like this plastic bracket. I'm going to try to open this up so I can actually access this valve cover, and try to take this valve cover, lift it up, and drop it down that way, if possible. I believe I can. I really think I can. That way I won't have to take the carburetors back off, because getting to the screws or the bands that hold it together is going to be a pain in the ass, and I really don't want to have to go through that. Just saying. So, but anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to go ahead, kind of spray down the front of the engine, kind of wipe it down, clean it up, and try to clean this thing up as much as I can as I go, because it could use a bath. There's lots of parts on this thing that could be shined up and cleaned. But anyway, that's where I'm at right now. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put you guys on a quick time lapse, and I'll show you guys me trying to fix the exhaust really quick, and then we're going to put the pan back underneath the bike. You know, I was just going over this bike, and I wanted to check the actual exhaust to see if I can put rivets back in the side to try to fix this exhaust. But I just popped that bolt off. But I just discovered something that is going to be pretty bad, and I need to talk to Josh about something I've just now discovered. Guys, when you see this, and I mean, that's clearly the Yoshimoto, but you ain't gonna believe what's on the back side of this. I did not know this was there. So Josh, I think I know why. You were saying you heard a whole lot of whistling noises and just really abnormally loud. Brother, part of your exhaust is missing. I didn't even know that. Had no clue. I mean, I can see daylight through this thing. There's no insulation whatsoever. It's just metal. Hang on, let me see if I can turn on the light. Let you guys look inside this thing. Probably can't. I had a flashlight out here. Aha! Ladies and gentlemen, look inside there. You can't see. Or we might just shine some light inside. That's all metal, guys. There ain't nothing in there. There's supposed to be insulation. Yeah, nothing but metal. There's no insulation whatsoever. Oh my God. So here's what I gotta do. What I was thinking about was, you know, putting rivets or whatever just to fix this. But there's 1, 2, 3 different types of screws holding this together. Just I'm at a loss of words. I'm at a loss of words. Let me call Josh. I gotta find out what he wants to do with this, because I can put this back on, but it is not gonna help at all. He needs a new one. Man, I did not want that to happen, but I guess I just keep finding new stuff. You see where the bike was laid over? That's that bracket that I shaved down to clean up that rough edge. You see that? Yeah. But man, there's no insulation inside. There's a hole. Oh my God. That's crazy. This is me here, Josh, talking to Josh, not just because we're friends, we're best friends. So I know I'm probably going to get some scrutiny from using the bench grinder, which has the wire wheel on it, just to get the gasket material off of this drain pan, or this oil pan. But I don't care. I'm going to use whatever I can to make the job go faster. I know what I'm doing on here. If you'll look at this wire wheel, it is not. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. You guys can see what I use. Okay, look at this. Dead on. See those fibers that stick out just a little bit? I'll line it up. There you go. See these fibers that stick out? Zoom in for y'all. Here we go. Yeah, these little fibers that stick out, that's what I was after. I'm not after the main meat of the wire wheel itself. I want the fibers that are sticking out on the sides. And that's what I use to just barely touch it. And believe it or not, when it just barely touches it, it's perfect for taking off old gasket material. So it's basically the equivalent to using a wired toothbrush. Because with this, I would be doing this for hours versus a few seconds of work with the wire wheel. So that's why I went this route. If you don't feel comfortable using one of these with an aluminum drain pan, don't do it. Otherwise, you'll actually create more damage and more valleys throughout the whole edge, and it'll possibly leak in the future. I know what I'm doing, and this surface is still really shiny, and that gasket is going to seal just fine. This part of the video is currently taking place approximately a week and a half later. The other part of that video that you just saw, me cleaning up the oil pan on the wire wheel, well, I got that far, and then I went to go to look for the gasket so I can put the oil pan back up onto the bike. All right, so I can finish the job. Where's the gaskets? Oh shit, where are they? I looked everywhere, all over my house, everywhere. Could not find these gaskets to save my life. All right, well, I need to get I got to get this bike out. You know, I got to get it finished. So I went back onto Partzilla and I ordered all the same stuff all over again. And they came in approximately 5 or 6 days later. And now they are here, as you can see. All these have arrived. I got everything I need to finish the gasket on here and the rest of Josh's bike. So like I said, fast forward a week and a half, I got all these together. Now I go to look for another tool to work on this bike, and I try to find my damn tool. I can't find it. I start looking for it. You're following with this, right? Yeah. I found the original gaskets. I found the original gaskets. So now I have not one, but 2 sets of gaskets for his bike. Now he did say, I'm actually lucky this next part happened. Josh did say that he has another bike that's just like his, and it needs some work. So now I have gaskets for both of his bikes, and I don't have to shop again on Partzilla, killing more time. I can just move things right along. So has that ever happened to you? You know, you go look for something, you can't find it, but the very moment you stop looking for it, you find it. Unbelievable. All right, well, we're gonna get back on this. What I'm gonna do with his oil pan, like I said, I've already cleaned everything on the edges. Before I put that on there, I'm actually gonna take some of this Permatex Ultra Black. It's a gasket maker. I'm gonna take this, a very, very super thin layer around the leading edge of this entire oil pan. All right. And the underside of his bike, I think it was a little dirty on the rim itself, but it didn't look that bad. None of the gasket material was left on the other surface, so I'll be okay. But anyway, I'm going to take this and put it on there. The purpose of that is not only just to seal it and help with the seal, but it's also, whenever you go to put this gasket on here, it prevents it from slipping around and sliding when you're trying to line up all the bolts and stuff. So it kind of helps hold things in place, kind of like an adhesive in a way. So, but anyway, let me go ahead and put you guys on a really quick time lapse, and you'll see me put this on here, and then we'll head over to the bike and I'll show you what's going on underneath. Let's take a look underneath the bike. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this stuff before, but here you go. Get this camera right. All right. You can see where all the oil has been dripping, and that's totally fine. It's supposed to be that way. But if you guys have never seen the inside, or Josh, if you've never seen the inside, well, here you go. You can pause the camera or pause the video if you need to. Kind of cool. Shift gears, I don't know. Everything looks actually really good. For a 2000 model, this thing looks good. Alright, next thing after we reinstall the oil pan, I'm going to take that water pump off, and we're going to take a look and see what it's got in store for us. Alright, moving on. Looks pretty good, but I know that seal, this gasket is flat. I'll zoom in on that here in a second. So this, I think this is a good seal. Okay, that's not moving because that turns with the engine, so that's good. That means it's a good water pump. all I'm going to do is just clean the surface of this. Wipe it down. I'll get like a small brush. Lightly clean the outer surface to get that corrosion off. Put a new gasket. That's the one that I bought for this. I got a new gasket for this. I'm going to clean the outer casing and then put it back on. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. That is awesome. Man, I like that. Man, I like that. When I talk about cleaning this up, yes, there's a little bit of antifreeze in here. That's fine. I was expecting a little bit left over, but when I was referring to cleaning this thing up, get out here in the sunlight, what I didn't like was this corrosion. It's not really corrosion, it's just antifreeze whenever it makes its way outside of the engine casing itself. Inside here, super clean. Outside, it's seen better days. So I'm gonna take this to the wire wheel, clean all this up, get nice and spiffy, and slap this thing back on the bike. So where is, okay, now I know that I didn't reorder the oil pump gasket because I was questioning whether I should do this or not. Turns out that doing it is actually the better choice. So the new one is going to be in here. It's this, or is it? Yeah, that'll work. You can use a pick, or in my case a really small knife. Work this around. You can just pull that straight off too. I try not to. I don't want to rip it. In the event that I might need to reshape, I'm hoping that I got the right one. Let's see what we got. See, this one, this will work. I'm just gonna have to like mold it. Or is this the right one? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They sent me the wrong one. Oh no. That is not good. Because these are different. That's what I was afraid of. So how bad is this gasket? It's, well, let me clean this up first and I'll see how bad this O-ring is. I mean, I can always change it out later. It's an external part. All you gotta do is just drain the fluids in the engine, or all the antifreeze, replace this cap and put it back on. Super simple. So let me go ahead and clean this up. Safety first. really windy day today. I'm going to try to do this without my stuff blowing away. This is the O-ring that had come off of it. And as you'll notice, I mean, it's in good shape. But it doesn't entirely look out of round. It still looks pretty good. It's not flat. Or at least until I put it into this groove. I'm going to put it back. That's where it came from. And I won't entirely know until I look at it from this angle. See, that's our problem. That O-ring is still flat. So you're just asking for leaks. That O-ring is no good. So I need to go back onto Partzilla and order a water pump gasket for this, because the one that they gave me, it's actually too tall on the top side, so I cannot reuse this. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on the bike as is anyway, and so that I don't lose anything, and we'll continue on with the bike. All right. My electric ratchet decided to have a much lower battery than I'd like, so it's currently charging. So while it's charging a little bit, I want to take a look inside here. The piping on this looks okay, but there's some, you know, like corrosion, old antifreeze on the surface. So I'm going to take this wire brush. It's not coarse, it's actually a softer, because this is these are copper bristles opposed to the steel bristles. And copper is just fine to clean debris away from here. So what I'm going to do here is get rid of some of this junk. Try to clear it up, make it look good. Give it a good seal. I'm going to have to reuse that O-ring because Partzilla accidentally sent me the wrong one. That's okay. This thing had a good seal from before. Whenever you go to put a cover on a water pump, you don't use gasket sealer. You don't ever use that stuff. You don't need to. You use a rubber O-ring, and that's it. Let's see here. I'm just gonna do a light surface. Yeah, see that powder come off? I'm barely putting any pressure on it. It's not going to scuff the surface or anything. Just... Alright. Get the rest of that garbage off of there. Excellent. Yeah, this water pump's in good shape. Alright, let's go ahead and go get the cover and mount that back on here and continue on with the rest of the bike. With the oil pan now installed, new gasket and everything, and the water pump taken apart, cleaned, and put back together. I still got that part. I have to wait to reinstall the new O-ring. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next thing, and on for my next trick. Removing the valve cover. Here we go. Okay, I've got all the wiring harness kind of pulled back. I'm peeling everything away so I can have access to this valve cover. And one thing I noticed when I was unplugging all these the spark plugs and all the coils, is you can see that one wire, see how it goes underneath this boot? It tucks up underneath there. Yeah, it's not supposed to do that. So whoever installed this, I guess it's a ground, whoever installed this did it the wrong way. So you pull this out, and I think you run it around the opposite direction, and make sure it never gets pinched. So I'm going to pull this out, and that should just pop right out. Alright, I know I still got you guys on the time lapse, but I've kept these 2 bolts in that hold on these 2 caps. But I miscounted. I missed them entirely. There's 3 on top, there's 3 on the bottom, but then there's 2 what appears to be on the face of the engine. I don't know if you guys can see through here where my hands are at. There's one up on top, and there's one just below it. They're about 3 inches apart, and those hold this valve cover on here. So it is loose. I'll lift up a little bit on it, and you'll see this back side is free, but the front side is not yet. Or is it? It should be free now. There's nothing holding it. But let me go ahead and pull this off of here, take it over to the truck. That way we can clean the surfaces. Alright, so I got it off of there, but I'm not gonna do this twice, but I'll show you how I got it. Alright, let me put it back in here. Up inside here is where it keeps getting caught, up by the frame. So if you take it, come down here and slide it in there, it will make it. Slide it in. That will fit. So how I got it was I went the opposite direction. I just slid it as low profile as possible, like this, as slowly as I could, rolling it out of there, and it just popped right out without affecting anything else. So let me go ahead and move this over here. I'm gonna take this and clean it. The whole top end is just disgusting. The whole engine is just caked in oil. Make sure you don't lose these rubber covers, these little rubber seals. Those on this bike still look good, but what I'm going to do before I put the other cap on there is I am going to take the shop vac to it and pull out any dirt or debris and get anything out of there, because I don't want nothing in that top end. I'm really nervous right now about this, but we got it. Let me go ahead and get all the gaskets and stuff set up on the back of the truck, clean up the valve cover, put the new gasket on. This new gasket, ooh, man, check that out. You don't see that every day. Well, I do. Well, look at that. There's your timing chain way over here. So I'll have to figure out how it came off over there so I can put it back on properly. But yeah, there you go. And it looks like, I think it was leaking from this point, but I'm just gonna lift up on this. Should push up on it. You can push up and it pops out. There you go. All this will come out hopefully effortlessly, and the surface should be in good shape. But I'm going to take a light to this, and I'm going to inspect the whole rim and see if there's any way that the oil was getting out. So let me go out here and clean up that valve cover, and then I'll get back to the bike. Alright, I already took off one of these, and I'm not even sure if it's supposed to look that bad. Is it carbon? Oil? I don't know. I'm going to let this sit and probably, I don't know if it's going to be degreaser or, I really don't want to do this. There's got to be an easy way to pop this free. There we go. That's why they give you that little lip to allow you to get some kind of leverage on it. Let's free these up. That is oil or grease. That's oil. My question is, what is under this? I mean, do I want to mess with it? It's a little diaphragm. I'm just putting a little bit of pressure, pushing down. I don't think these are supposed to come out. They do. Okay. So they do. Yeah, let's let these things soak in something that will tear this up. That's oil. I don't know exactly what that's for. Come on. Pop free. There we go. I said pop free. Not really damaging anything. There's no real scuffs at all. So that's just a diaphragm that opens up. I don't know what for. But I'm gonna put this in something so it'll clean up. Let it soak. Same thing with the valve cover as well. I'll try and get all this out of there, because you know what? I think I might have something that could clean this. I got oven cleaner. I'm gonna spray the oven cleaner on here and let it soak on that and see if that works. Alright, I'll be right back. Hang on. Heavy duty oven cleaner. This stuff will do pretty good work. Not so much of that. Let's see how this works. That's some strong stuff. That's strong. Oh, that's oven cleaner. So we're gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes and we're gonna see how well it breaks that apart. I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
Alright, so I let this stuff sit in that 409 for a while, and it has allowed this to break up a lot. So, and these are cleaning up really, really well. I mean, I'm having to put a little effort into it. A lot of that carbon's on there. The backside is way cleaner than it was before. It was solid black. Soup and water. See, they all looked like this when I started. All black, right? See that? That 409 breaks it up. Okay, folks, we are at a stopping point today. I've gone as far as I'm going to go for right now. Got everything, you know, organized as good as it's going to get right now. There's some things I still need to adjust and fix. The valve cover, I got that all cleaned up. I got all the dirt and grime and oil and crap off of it. I'm not going to install these covers back on it just yet. I need to swing by the store and go get some hose clamps. I don't have any more, so I'm probably going to take this with me to the store tomorrow to go get some. I'm pretty satisfied. I'm pretty satisfied with the fact I got the oil pan installed, and I took apart the water pump itself, or at least the outer casing. Got it all cleaned up. The water pump is in good shape. However, I don't have an O-ring that will go on that. The one that I got from Partzilla is the wrong one, so I'm going to have to reorder another one and make sure I get the right one. I cannot reuse this one because it's too flat and it will not seal, so I'm not going to put that all together just yet. And then everything in here it's all covered, so nothing, if anything falls, it won't get into the engine. This is what I didn't want to happen, is, you know, me get to this point where I can't finish. Unfortunately, some things are stopping me from forward progress. So that's as far as I'm going to get today, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm not done, clearly. I got some more stuff I got to go get. Yeah, I mean, this is as far as I'm going to get for today and on this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content of this video as much as I had making it. I want to give a huge shout out to my dad and his new YouTube channel that I'm currently working on, and I'm actually in the process of making new videos for him. He's been building up a couple new trucks. They're like 1955 models. They're actually pretty cool. But I'll be putting his channel when it's done down below or in the description somewhere, so you guys will go and check out his channel too. I like what he does. It's pretty cool stuff. And that's pretty much it for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any comments about this, please leave them down below. If you guys happen to like it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit your notification bell up there in the top right hand corner of the screen. And as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and until next time, y'all take it easy. I love you. Goodbye.